Ultimately, don't we all want more personal freedom? But do you even know what that looks like for you and how to start creating that? Well, that's what I'm going to be helping you with over this next couple of videos. And I'm going to start with the 7 tips that every seeker of personal freedom needs to know. Now, number one is about creating your personal free living manifesto. Because to start creating more personal freedom, you need to know 3 things. What's going to create more personal freedom for you? What's stopping you from having more of that now? And how do you just start creating more of it now? And it's really very simple. There's just some things you're going to write down. So, number one is, what would your ideal day look like? How will you feel on a daily basis? What will you stand for? What will you share? What will you create? How will you connect with other people? What practices and rituals will you have? What are the things that are going to make you feel connected, alive, and purposeful on a daily basis? That's number one. Number two is, what will you no longer accept? What are you done with? What are you fed up with? Get clear on that and write down why, so you can remember why you're no longer going to accept those things. And thirdly, how are you going to start putting all of this into action? What does your creation plan look like? What do you need to get started, if anything? Is there anybody whose help you might need that you can get on board? And more importantly, how will you maintain your commitment to your personal freedom no matter what? Number two is called anchoring for better decisions. Now, notice that up until now, I've not even mentioned the word goals, because personal freedom isn't about an achievement of things or a status. It's about being in a state, a physiological, emotional, mental state. When you think about personal freedom, it's a feeling in your body before it's a thought in your head. So the quickest way for you to most powerfully and quickly amplify your personal freedom is to tap into your emotions, to tap into your body. So as you're writing your free living manifesto, get very, very clear on the emotions and the feelings that you want more of. And then when you read your manifesto every day, and you think about those emotions, you're going to connect the two together. You're going to connect this, you're going to create an anchor of emotions to the reading of your personal manifesto, your free living manifesto. Now, if you really want to amplify that up, when you're reading it, put on your favorite piece of music, do a power pose, have some kind of smell, be looking at something, like have something visual, think of your favorite color. Because all of these things will create some amazingly powerful neural pathways that will help your free living manifesto be this like holographic experience through your body that you can anchor into at any time with that smell or with that sound or with that color or with that power pose. So using anchors is a really powerful way to amplify that. So when you then, I want you to think about, when you're then in that space where you've created this powerful anchor, it's also going to help you make better decisions, because you're going to be making decisions from these emotions. You are going to be able to make decisions that will create a new reality rather than replicate a present reality or a past reality. And the only way you can do that is to be really anchoring it into the emotions and the feelings that you want. Number three, your unique path to happiness. Please don't suffocate your personal freedom by chasing something because you think you should want it, or by rejecting something that you haven't tried. So, finding your personal freedom really is going to require for you to dig deep and get courageous enough to be brutally honest about what makes you the most happy and the most content. If you love baking bread, taking long walks in the countryside, and sitting by the fire at night time, listening to music with a cup of hot chocolate, I suggest that putting a 6-pack or 6 figures at the top of your personal freedom might not be the right thing for you just yet. Not to say never, and not to say that it won't work, but please don't put those societal things at the top when there's other things that make you anchor into these amazing freedom emotions like right away. Similarly, the path to personal freedom can mean some really tough decisions. So I encourage you not to say no to something because it's something you think won't work for you, or because it's not for me, or because I just don't fancy it. Say no to it when you've tried it and you have the personal experience and you have personal evidence of why it's not for you. Number 4 is to expand your definition of freedom. This one's really very simple. When you are writing your free living manifesto, give it time to germinate. It's not something that you just need to sit down and write in 30 minutes. Like maybe you want to journal on it and come back to it every day for a week, a month. Like you get to choose that timeline. But think broad, think about experiences and travel and your career or your work, your health, your relationships, your finances, your spirituality. Go global with your definition of freedom. So, because think about it as well, the more of these things you've got, the more avenues you've got to access that personal freedom on a day-to-day basis. Number 5 is feelings over external markers. It is so easy, I think, in this day and age more than any other age, is to think that a thing, a salary, a person, or an achievement, a win, is the way to create the feelings that we want, to have more of those feelings. But there is plenty of evidence to the contrary. When you can create internal feelings of success and happiness at will in any given moment, in the present, you are truly living a life of personal freedom. So, what can you do now to create the feelings that you want without changing your circumstances? That will really get your brain thinking. And again, it's not to say that you can't and you shouldn't want to change your circumstances, but let's be creative and find ways to generate those feelings now, today. Number 6 is timelines and goal setting. So don't rob yourself of personal freedom now by putting pressure on the time frame. Be willing to extend how long it takes to get there, because remember, with personal freedom, you're practicing the feeling of being there, here, now. Plus, you also don't have to think about the long-term plan. It's okay not to want to think 5 years out from now. Bring the timeline forward to a month, 6 months, or the end of the year. What creates the best feeling for you? What creates the most personal freedom now? And pick that timeline. And finally, number 7, transient moments of joy. Transient moments of joy. It's like the piece of music that just gets you right in the heart. It's the sunset that takes your breath away, the meal that sets your taste buds on fire, or the smell of that first fresh cup of coffee in the morning. I think sometimes we forget that we have these moments of just intrinsic, like this joy, this presence, this connection, and we dismiss them or we're just not present to them. So I want you to really prioritize creating transient moments of joy and letting them become really powerful anchors in your body. Feel them all over. Transient moments of joy are just ways for you to like heighten your frequency, access more freedom in the moment, and it's going to teach you to start looking for them. This is how we're going to start creating more personal freedom on an everyday basis without having to change our circumstances right away. I really do hope you've enjoyed this first video of me coming back. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because I will be uploading new videos every week. See you next time.